Welcome to the CKA 70 demo question series. This is the fourth part, and we will cover services-related question except ingress. Without further delay, let's kickstart. The next question is, you can find a pod, web pod, is running on the cluster. You have to expose it through cluster IP, and the cluster port is 8080, and the service name should be web SVC. The weightage of this question is 6%, which means this question is not straightforward. Let's crack the question. We can see a pod is running in this cluster. As per the question, we have to expose it through cluster IP and port. Seems it is a simple task. Let's check. OK, service is created, and it will listen through port 8080. Let's describe it for check-in whether it is targeting to our pod or not. Yes, we can see the service is targeting to our pod. What you think, will it work or not? Let's curl it first. You can see our service is not working properly. This is only because we are not mentions the actual port of the pod in the service as targets port. You can see the target port of the pod is mentioned as port 8080, but it is came automatically. OK, we can set it through editing the service YAML file, but before that we have to find the actual port of the pod. So let's edit the pod first. Yes, we can see the pod port is 80, so let's edit the service and modify the target port. Let's modify to port 80. OK, service is updated. Now it should work. Congratulations, our service is listening properly. Let's describe it again. You can see now the service target is 80. OK, let's go to the next question. The next question is quite similar to the previous question, only change is to expose deployment instead pod. OK, the next question is, you can find a deployment, cube 001 on the cluster. You have to expose it through cluster IP and port 8080, and the service name should be web deploy SVC. OK, let's go to the cluster. Let's check the deployment first. Yes, we can see a deployment cub 001. Let's expose it through cluster IP and port 8080. Yes, our service is created and exposed through port 8080 of cluster IP. Let's curl it. Okay, this service is not working properly. This is because we are not mentioned the target port of the pods in the service, so let's check the pod listening port first. Then we can edit the service YAML file. You can see our service is targeting to port 8080 of the pods. We have to find the actual port first. Let's edit the deployment first. Yes, we can see the container port of the deployment is port 80, so we have to mention this in the service as target port, so let's exit and edit the service. Yes, now we updated the service, now it should work. Let's check. Yes, our service is listening, and our task is completed. I will show one more thing. If you know the port of the pod, then we can mention that port as target port, while the service creation time, I will show that next. So I'm deleting this service, and we are going to create the same through imperative commands with target port. Now we added target port along with the cluster port. Let's check it. Yes, it is working as expected. In the exam you can expect this type of question with high marks, so you have to verify the services after creation, then only you can understand whether any issues are there or not. Okay, let's go to the next question. This time the question for expose a deployment through NodePort, the question is, you can find a deployment, cube 002 on the cluster. You have to expose it through NodePort 30200. Service name should be cube NodePort SVC. Without further delay, let's go to the cluster. Yes, we can see couple of deployments. As per the question, we have to expose cube 001 deployment. In the exam also you can find multiple deployments, so you have to be careful. Otherwise there is chance for exposing wrong one. Okay, let's expose it using expose command. Oh, some errors. OK, service is created. Let's check with curl command. Yes, it is working, but as per the question we have to expose it through a specific pod 30200, so in order to do that we have to edit the service. Yes, now our service is exposed through port 30200. Let's verify it. Yes, it is working through both nodes. Congratulations, we have successfully completed this task. Next we are going to clear a simple task related with service. Next question is a simple question and a straightforward. The question is, you can find a service named pod SVC on the cluster. You have to change the NodePort port to 31200. Okay, let's check the cluster. Okay, we can see the pod SVC, and it is exposing through an random port 30727. In order to expose it through a specific node port, we have to edit the service. First, check whether it is listening or not. Yes, it is working, so we only need to just change the port. Change the port to 31200. Save and exit, it will auto-deploy. Okay, it is updated. Let's check. Yes, it is working as expected. We are successfully completed this task, and we will cover one more question in this video on service topic. Next question is a little bit complicated one. Let's go to the next question. This question I found from the public domain. This is actually a difficult one. Let's try to solve it. The question is: modify the existing deployment web deploy by adding a new port mapping. Name this port HTTP and expose it on port 80/TCP of the underlying Nginx container. Expose the container port HTTP by creating a new service called WebDeploySVC. Make the service accessible from outside the cluster by assigning a node port to each node. What does it mean? You can find an existing deployment in the cluster. You have to edit the deployment and add the container port 80, and name the port HTTP, and also you have to mention the protocol as TCP. Once completed the task, then we have to expose it through NodePort. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we can find a web deployment. Let's edit it. Yes, there is no entry for container port, so we have to add the port. And port name should be HTTP. And we have to mention the protocol also. Let's save and exit. Next we have to verify it. Seems perfect. Next we have to expose the deployment through NodePort. So let's create a YAML file. OK, target port is HTTP. Seems perfect. Let's apply it. Service is deployed. Let's try to curl it. Yes, it is working as expected. So far, we have covered most of the scenarios related to the service aspect, and I will add more scenarios as soon as I encounter them. Additionally, how many of you noticed the mistake I made in question number 22? Please comment on it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. See you soon.